And having kind of gone through the last several years, I just find it crazy when they say, no, I don't need to. Mm-hmm. One individual specifically, Martin, that we have not had on the show, will tell everybody and anybody that asks about him racing. He's like, I am done. Like, I am never going to be behind the wheel of a race car again. He's adamant. And so it's interesting for me to, I bug Dale Jarrett and I bug Jeff Burton all the time.
What did they say?
Nope. No way. I mean, they're just like, are you crazy? Like, it's the silliest idea ever, right? And I'm like, oh, man, just go run a few laps, right? They're not interested. Not really at all. And so, which I find fascinating. There's no wrong answer. Right. But Jamie's really young, really in great shape, and you try to make us. I don't know how you do it, but I kind of sit here and go, I'm gonna guess what he's gonna say, and I wonder if I'm right. Like, as Jamie being young and in great shape, I would assume that a good opportunity he would do it. And
he said that, right? Yeah. So you were right. You guessed right on that.
I guess. Yeah.
And I
guess I did guess right.
The thing is that
let's take a moment.
Eric Amarola.
Let's take a moment.
Okay, he was right. Everybody, enjoy it. In fact, you can just back up the podcast and listen to him be right again if you want to.
Yeah. Don't be right again in a few more days.
Oh, here it is. There he is.
Yes, the Blaney train. We're going to get into Phoenix here in a bit, but first, back to McMurray.
Eric Amarola is going to be retiring, but I think that you get the fact that, and I don't know if that's because Smithfield was leaving. What came first? Eric decided he wanted to scale back, or Smithfield leaving. But that being said, there's a point in all of your lives and even our lives where the grind that we're used to in our prime starts to become pretty dang exhausting. And the thing that I thought it was compelling in the way you guys were going back and forth was that you guys can look back at the time now that you're withdrawn from it and realize that there was a lot of there were moments that were fun, but for the most part, it didn't seem like it was that enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think it's probably to do with the pressure and all the things that you have to do to be able to get into the place where you're happy. Your happy place is in the race car.
Yeah.
There's so much that comes in addition to that, though, just to get to the race car that you guys don't particularly enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the fans want to hear us.
That's true.
Say that, it was miserable. But I think we are not great at articulating exactly what we're saying. And so when we got into racing, like when Jamie talks about getting into his late model and Arco and go-karts with his dad, you're having the time of your life. I had the best time driving my little late model car at Myrtle Beach every weekend for 4 years. All of that was amazing. And when I got my Busch Series opportunities, it continued to be a nothing less than thrilling. I mean, it was amazing. First couple years of Xfinity, still great. But creeping into the picture were new responsibilities. You're going to have to do X amount of appearances for this partner. We got a new partner coming in. You got to have to do X, Y, and Z. You got this thing planned with your family or friends, and they, you got to fly to Vegas. You got to go to Florida. You got to go to Canada, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Those things are fun, but they too start to litter the calendar year, and then you get into the Cup Series, and all of that multiplies by 3, 4, 5 times, and then you're dealing with multiple sponsors. Instead of having, I was kind of lucky with Budweiser, I had one primary for the majority of the year, and then you get multiple sponsors, and now the drivers today, they got 6 or 7 partners that want dozens of appearances apiece.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the calendar year, your time just goes away. And when you're not doing those things, you're working, focusing, simming, meeting, thinking about your race, preparing for the next race. And so when you do all of those things and you go out and have a disappointing result, I mean, hell, even the greats had disappointing results half the time or more, right? Even some of the greatest had many, many bad days during the year. You know, it was tough. It was frustrating. More than frustrating. It wasn't miserable. It wasn't, oh, I don't love this. I don't want to do this. You loved it. You did want to do it. But it was so disappointing. So hard to get your ass kicked after all of that effort and then have to do that again the next week and go back not knowing whether your ass is going to get kicked or not. And you'd have the good runs, and just like that guy, or just like me, when I'd go play golf. I suck. But, boy, I hit the pin one time on a par 4 on my second shot, and, damn, I'm roped in again. I'm going to do this some more, you know?
That's right.
Now I'm having fun.
Yeah, now you're going ahead and buying a sim or
getting
a golf club membership.
I'm going to go get a better set of clubs. I'll do this more often.
Just so you can go get your ass kicked some more and get humbled again.
Yeah, and then I spent the next several rounds miserable.
Yeah. Here's something that I find interesting, and I want to ask you. There is financially there is a big level up when you go from, let's say, Xfinity Series to Cup. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the times, a lot of people ready to get to Cup just because maybe they can go invest in a motorhome. Maybe, they could see these Cup drivers flying around on their own jets. So my question is, would you have taken less money to get some of your schedule back? Or is the money just too good because the money's way better, but there's a cost for that, and that's because you're putting in a lot more time.
That's a great question.
You're getting paid by the hour. Think of it that way. You got a lot more hours to devote when you get to Cup, but you also get paid a lot more.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like that I probably would say yes in the back 5 years of my career to taking a big pay cut to get more days on my calendar that were free days that I choose what I want to do. Now, look, I was spoiled rotten. When you look at the week, I felt like I was busy the whole week, but I had plenty of off days. I'd have one or two sprinkled in there, Mm-hmm. So I don't know, it was optics. And every driver that myself, Jamie, and all the drivers that are competing now are blessed, fortunate. They got a great job. It's exciting. It's thrilling. But even then, man, you can easily make it miserable. You can easily screw up and make it miserable. You try not to. Some people are just wired where they'll get thrown into that mix and come out smiling every day, just having a blast. Mm-hmm. But some people can go in there, even if all the blessings, and make it miserable. Get competitive. Not want to win every lap. And I don't know where we're going with this.
Well, no, I think you answered the question. It sort of
where you have led me down the road now.
Well, my theory is that money doesn't make you happy. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of probably miserable millionaires out there. And the fact is that
we're finding our way back.
Yeah. Well, Carl Edwards said, I can get rid of this lifestyle.
Oh, he did.
I can walk out of this easy.
Damn
and
right.
That's when we were all like, wow, how can you give up that paycheck, man?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think his answer would be, wasn't that hard at all, actually.
And you see that in Truex as well. He's not continuing to drive because of the pay. He's only continuing to drive because he's found some enjoyment in actually driving this next-gen car and running well with it. And he thinks, we're good. We're running good enough. I think I'll stick around one more year. Hell, how long does he do that? Until he doesn't have that fun year. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
He ain't going to miss a damn minute of it.
He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would have the itch. I think that when it's done,
he
it's
will
done.
Disappear.
Yeah, he'll disappear.
Into the woods with his boat.
That's right.
But I had a good time talking to Jamie. There was a couple other things that I thought was interesting. Jamie, we didn't get into it. I was almost, I didn't really, dude's he talked about it. I asked him if he raced go-karts on ovals. He said he did on dirt, and he goes, I didn't like it because it was dirty, and he's a germaphobe.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I'm not going to ask him if he wants to go run a late model stock car store race.
There's no dirtier place out there, right?
Well, there's it's you're gonna get some dirt under your nails there. But
right.
Anyhow,
one thing we didn't talk about?
What did we not talk about?
That year he had where he won the Daytona 500, the Brickyard.
He kind of did.
Yeah, but like just the significance of that year.
Bono Pake.
That's true. He
strategy.
did, but
we touched on it.
That was such an amazing feat.
Won some big races.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.